Hello, beautiful generator. Today I'm going to be channeling for you a money message as well as a message related to anything abundance related. So if you're experiencing lack in any facet of your life, you can just take a moment right now to notice where you're experiencing lack and then apply today's message towards that lack. So I'm choosing to call it a money message because I think oftentimes in today's world, people experience lack in relation to money, but that's not always the case. There could be another area of your life where you're experiencing lack and where you want to have more abundance. And so you can apply today's message to that realm of your life. Thank you so much for those of you who have commented on my videos in this past month. I've shifted my approach here on my channel and I've started to create these more informal channeled messages by type. And what has happened is that I've been receiving more comments and this has been so fulfilling for me. I've gotten to kind of know who's watching my videos a little bit better, and it's very, very motivating and fun for me because up until now, it has been quite anonymous. Like I don't actually know who's watching. It's a little creepy, to be honest, like to create something so oftentimes intimate and then have like no idea who it is that is actually out there watching. It's just a very strange thing. Like usually, you know, if you tell all the things about your life to someone, you get some kind of like, oh yeah, some feedback. So having that feedback and getting to know a little bit more who is actually watching has been so fulfilling. And so I really do appreciate it when you respond and just even let me know with an emoji that you were here. It just lets me know kind of who's watching and who's there. So it feels very, very good for me. And I really, really appreciate it. And I've loved what's been happening here on my channel this month. It's very motivating and heartening. So thank you. All right, so let's go into today's message. As always, just make sure you have an inner yes to receiving this transmission. And if you can, take the time to just sit down and meditate with me. It's a beautiful moment to connect with your own direct connection with spirit as well, and to really receive the energetic component of the transmission. Because when I'm receiving these transmissions, I'm often just experiencing an energy. It's like, you know, getting bathed in an energy transmission, and it's like a packet. So some of the things that come with a packet are words and images, but oftentimes it's really just frequency. And the more you tune in directly to the frequency itself, then the words, you know, they're secondary to the frequency. And when you receive the frequency, then that's, you know, going to allow you to take that known and felt experience into your daily life. And if it feels like this frequency is unknown to you and it's not normal for you, you can listen to this message more than once, and that will help you kind of get climatized to that frequency. All right, beautiful generator. Just checking in once again, do you have a yes to receive today's message from my direct connection with God? Of course, always honoring your yes and your no. So feeling into your heart and all of the luminous energy in your heart, allowing your heart to fill with light and just be light, be full of light, to radiate just like a sun, and to experience your own radiance. your own light. Knowing that you are just like a sun in so many ways, where you're full of light, you're full of energy, you're warm, you nurture and nourish with energy. You create well-being. And this is not even something that you do, it's just something you are. So you are this nurturing light that's full of nutrients, that's really nourishing. And there's absolute abundance in that, implicitly. There's just this beautiful implicit value in your existence, in your beingness, and in your readiness and willingness to receive. So when you acknowledge that you yourself are a living, breathing energy factory, just like a sun, just constantly producing streams of light and streams of nutritious value into existence, radiating valuable emanations of being, then you also allow yourself to receive nurturing and nourishment from the outside as well. So it's like both ways. You receive and you also emanate and give. But when you understand how much you're giving just by being, just by existing, then you can also receive just by existing. And you don't have to toil and work all day, all night, day in, day out, just to piece out a living or put together a livelihood. You don't have to toil, you don't have to strive. There's just a real natural giving that's just innate to who you are, and there's also a receiving that's innate to who you are. And for many, historically, there's been a tying, like a distorted reality of tying your efforts to your earnings and to your livelihood. And this is simply not true. It's not the divine design of things. The divine design of things is for you to just naturally give and receive in your state of being. And of course, there's going to be actions that you do and actions that you don't do. And, life is going to continue going about its harmonious dance. But at the core of it, you receive because you are. And you give as you are. And if you don't believe this already, ask life to show you how this works. Ask life to show you how you give just by being, just by existing. And ask life to show you how you receive just by existing. I have a little story that's coming to mind to share just from the last few days. I went out on Saturday and I brought 4,000 pesos with me. And I was gonna ride my bike. I was meeting my friend out for dinner. I was gonna ride my bike, but the place where I have my bike stored was locked. Sometimes they're not there, so I couldn't get my bike. And I was kind of running late, so rather than walk, it was only like a 10-minute walk, I hailed a cab. And I asked the cab driver how much it would be, and he said, whatever you decide. And when we got to the place, I asked him if he had change, because I only had 1,000 peso bill, which is about $4. And he said, oh, I don't have any change. So he said, don't worry about it, just it's fine. And he said it was such a sweet, beautiful being, like just such a pureness, and it was so delightful to receive. So I received that cab ride. And then we had dinner, and dinner was more expensive than I anticipated, so I spent like 2,500 pesos on dinner. So then I only had 1,500 pesos for the rest of the night. And I don't remember exactly the amount, but anyway, I basically only had enough money to pay for the entrance and 2 bottles of water, and then some transportation home. So I paid the entrance, the bottles of water, and by the time it came time to go home, I spent, I only had 50 pesos left. So I could have walked home, but it's kind of a far walk and I was tired. So I asked a cab driver, because it's kind of like buses that go along this route. So they're not actual taxis, they're buses. So usually a fare would be about 100 pesos. But I asked this guy if he would be willing that I could go for 50. And he was fine with that. And so, you know, he drove me and we were chatting, and then when it came time for him to let me off, he didn't want to receive my money. And it was so sweet. So that day I had 2 taxi rides for free, which doesn't usually happen. I mean, like, I've been here for 6 months, and maybe that has happened a couple times, but definitely not twice in one day. And it was so nourishing to receive. And today I was taking one of those taxi colectivos that's like a bus. So there were 3 ladies that got in the back. And I just happened to feel inspired, and I ended up paying for their fare to take the taxi that day. And I really just felt like they were just beautiful, and I just really wanted to do something for them. So it was like a very small gesture, but it's just this story that's illustrating like the giving and receiving flow. And I often find that here in Havana, that there's just this beautiful unfolding of giving and receiving. And it's, I think, a little bit more obvious because it's a cash economy. And so you're always dealing in cash, and everything's a little bit strange here. There's always unexpected things. So yeah, I just wanted to share that story. It was coming it was coming to mind about this idea of just giving and receiving according to being, not because you did anything. So when you open up to this possibility, your reality will confirm it, and you will become a believer, because it will be shown to you that there's a natural flow of giving and receiving that just wants to be taking place in your life in an effortless beingness and not a doingness. And now is a time when that old energy of toil and strife is completely releasing its hold on humanity. And so you get to be one of those people that no longer subscribes to that reality, and to that distorted, it was like a power game. It's something that many people historically have had a vested interest in upholding as a reality, because they benefited from it. But you can simply opt out and choose to opt into a new reality, to subscribe to the reality that your being is valuable and that your doing is just an offshoot, like an after effect of like how your energy just wants to move in the world. That you get to enjoy the doing and then just receive and give value because you are. And what that creates is like a truly enjoyable experience. Truly, truly enjoyable. So good. Oh my goodness. This is just so exquisite, this message. I don't know if you can feel it, but wow, I'm just really enjoying this. It's so beautiful. So one of the things that I created that you might not be aware of that's related to this message, if you do feel like you have difficulty receiving, or also if you feel like there's distortions at play in how you give, I brought through a very powerful transformation in my own life, and then I created a teaching around it about giving and receiving freely in my business, because I realized that the way that I was doing business was not energetically allowing a real flow of giving and receiving in alignment with how I really naturally want to give and receive. So the way that I was packaging my offerings and the way that I was creating pathways to receive money into my life, I had to kind of like distort myself or contort, that's the right word, into different shapes that weren't natural for me. And it was causing me to not actually want to grow my business. And it was creating a business model that was really unsustainable for me in the long term, and that I wouldn't ever really allow to grow because I didn't enjoy the giving and the receiving. So when I received this message, I was able to really see clearly how to align my giving and receiving with my values, and it changed how I do everything. And now the way that I give and the way that I receive is so harmonious, and it feels really, really good. So that is available on my website. Well, I don't really have a website, but I'll put the link to it so you can check it out. It's part of my Freedom Frequency program, but you can just buy that one module on its own, and it's really amazing. If you have this challenge, then I definitely recommend taking yourself through that module, and it will just clear it right up. So I look forward to connecting with you again here on my channel, and yeah, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. Please let me know how this lands for you. And I'm sending you so much love. Bye.